We have breaking news right now. Children's Hospital Los Angeles says they are closing their Center for Trans Youth Health and Development and Gender Affirming Care Surgical Department. The hospital CEO cites challenges due to the shifting policy landscape, Trump executive orders, the state's budget crisis, and threats to cut funding. CHLA say they rely on federal funding more than any other pediatric hospital in the state, and losing access to those funds would impact the ability to provide essential care to low-income children and teens. A memo sent to staff says they are starting to notify patients today and are seeking to find alternative providers for affected patients. A protest is planned for later this evening. Denise Dodor will bring you a live report on Eyewitness News at 6 o'clock.
The fact that they can call this healthcare with a straight face, it boggles the mind. It's like giving liposuction to people who are anorexic and calling that healthcare. Dealing with a mental illness, a psychological condition, by mutilating the body and doing physical surgeries. It's crazy that we got to this point. But within a couple of years, people are gonna look back at trans healthcare, gender affirming care, the same way we look at lobotomies today. You know, we all see that as ridiculous. How could we think that shoving an ice pick in someone's nose and pounding it with a hammer to destroy part of their brain would ever actually be legitimate healthcare? And that's how we're going to look at trans care.
I hope that when it does happen, when we do look at that chapter in our history, that we will go after the doctors, go after the policymakers, go after the therapists, everybody that participated in this. We need to go after them and hold them accountable, because they have destroyed the life of youth that will never get it back, especially young women, young girls that will never be able to know what it is to be a mother because they were convinced that something was wrong with them. Hopefully, we don't pardon them like Dr. Fauci, prosecute them criminally, because what they've been doing in both the US and in Canada is
all over the West.
Criminal.
Really. Like, I've actually seen myself, leaked emails. I've seen people who have detransitioned, who have posted screenshots of their actual email exchanges, and there absolutely are criminal doctors out there. They've had patients who were saying, I don't know if I'm trans, I don't know if this is right for me, and the doctor has convinced them, or the therapist has convinced them that they are, because it's ideological for them. They need the trans child, the idea of the trans child, because that validates the idea of the trans adult. It allows them to say, oh, no, it's not just me as a cross-dressing man who is getting off on this. It's a legitimate mental health condition. And that argument is much stronger if they can point to the idea. See, even children can be trans. And so they created out of thin air the idea of the trans child. And when you understand that, you do start to see how there's some criminal liability here. There's some things that are very overrepresented in most trans children. Autism, for one. Heavily overrepresented. Victims of sexual assault, something like 80% of girls who identify as trans were victims of childhood sexual assault. That is just such a red flag. And to ignore that and say, no, you're trans, we should cut your breasts off, just to validate the adult, the cross-dressing men are enjoying it because it's a sexual fetish for them. I mean, I don't use the word evil very much, but it applies here. There's criminal liability, and some people have to be held accountable.
Leave the fucking children alone.
That's it. That's all it is. If you're an adult, do whatever the fuck you want to your body. I don't give a shit. Just don't expect the public to pay for it in terms of like tax dollars or whatnot. Leave kids alone. It's really not hard. They keep pretending like it's really, really hard, but it is not. It's not hard to leave kids alone. And then they cry, oh, we're being so oppressed. We're being so oppressed. If you just left kids alone as an adult, you can do whatever you want. Nobody would care. Nobody would give two shits.